This is an AVNation special. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. With me to discuss a couple things heading into InfoComm 2018 and just to chat in general about all things musical and cool is my buddy Yuval Kramer from Kramer Electronics. How are you, brother?
Great. How are you, Tim?
Doing good, doing good. About a year ago, actually it was a year ago, InfoComm. So once InfoComm comes around, it'll be a year. InfoComm 2017, you guys kind of announced a new product direction for you guys. It was not just a DSP. It was a DSP that was a server, right? A DSP server,
right.
Called the KN DSP 100. You announced it in InfoComm. ISE this past February was kind of a big launch for it. You were in a guitar cave playing guitar, every half an hour on the hour, and now it's shipping. Right. So real quickly, let's get into a couple different things. First of all, what does somebody need to know about this product specifically and why it makes it different than some other processing products that you guys have released in the past?
Right. So the main thing about this product is it is not a DSP per se. This is just part of what it can do.
Okay.
The idea behind it was to create the most efficient and most powerful working tool that you can give an integrator to work with, basically. It is laid on the strongest foundations I could have found. We work with a server with an Intel chipset, a Windows machine, running on Dante standards, using the Kramer network, and the processing power was Waves audio. Basically, I took the strongest pillars I can build something on and use that as the drawing board. So this beast of a product can do so many things, and we're working in a highly technological industry, right? We are working with the most advanced technologies that you can have, and there are different challenges when you come and design a power amplifier. It's basically a simple device, and the challenges are how efficient it is and how reliable it is. And there are challenges within this simplicity that forced you to design a product in a certain way. In this product, the idea was not to be simple behind it, to give you the strongest tools that you can do. So we came up with the Kramer Network 2.0, which is everything you need as a management platform, from support of SNMP traps for the IT guys, your LDAP systems, users, scheduling, management and logging of all your AV installation, and we added a DSP processing on top of it. And the processing is done by Waves audio, like I mentioned, again, using kind of the strongest tools I can have. So the selections and the options that you have as an integrator and as a consultant, as a designer of a system, is almost unlimited. This is one of the things that I showed in ISE. I'm going to do a little bit more elaborate things during InfoComm, is to show a little bit of the power of the system. And it's kind of out there. It's up. Basically, I wanted to create a tool that would be limited only by your imagination. That's the main thing behind it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that you're going to be showing some more at InfoComm. That you guys are in Hall C 2919, Central Hall 2919. How do you train people on this then? How do you market it? How do you get it into the hands of consultants and not just the hands of consultants, but into the minds of consultants when they're designing a system, if it is so unique and if it is so new and different? Because you go to your guys' websites and it's under processors, right? It's under mixers and processors. And so that's right. The name is DSP. And so how do you kind of get people to get beyond that name and beyond that mindset of, oh, this is just a DSP and that's kind of all it does?
Right. It's actually a part of a three product family, which one of them is the Kramer Network as a software, which you can download a demo from our website. You can play around with it, and we have the Kramer Network training sessions and explaining about the Kramer Network, how it works, videos, tutorials, the works that we have on that. We have a Kramer Network as a server coming soon as well. We're going to introduce it in InfoComm as well. The same thing, just installed on a PC server that we tested and checked, and you don't need to install it on any of your servers. You just get it from Kramer. It's pre-configured, installed, connect to the wall, and it's working. And we have the same thing with the DSP capabilities on top of it. So this is the KN DSP 100 is just the biggest flavor of that.
Okay.
So the foundations are laid on the Kramer Network. And on top of it, we have the Kramer network as a hardware box, very much like our VR product line, which is a computer, comes installed with a software that is designed, and you can work with it. So it's the same idea. It's a pre-configured computer. And the main differentiator here is the DSP features on top of that Kramer network. So the training thing is built on the same kind of hierarchy. You get your head around the Kramer network, and then you can see how many more layers you can add on top of that.
You mentioned the fact that it's based on Microsoft OS. It's got the Intel chipset. The other thing I want to drill down on is the waves. And if you are not familiar with waves, and me being an old radio guy and a longtime Pro Tools user, we grew up on, I grew up on using waves and all sorts of waves plugins and the processing that they did. And it was interesting getting our boss, our program director at the time, this has been 15 years ago, trying to squeeze, an extra $200 or $300 or $2,000 or $3,000, depending on which plugin we wanted, to get some waves.
Yeah.
Why is picking waves important for the DSP part?
We came up, the DSP world is, I'll go one step backwards.
Yeah.
We see now the audio side of our industry is growing in crazy rates, right? Mainly we see audio brands coming into the Pro AV industry. We see that great brands coming around, no need to mention names, but we have all of a sudden a bunch of new competitors knocking on our doors, and which is great because competition is awesome. And we came from the other way around. We are an AV company. We are basically one of the first AV companies ever. And we kind of built this industry and we're built within it. And it's kind of the same thing, the Kramer and the AV industry. And we came to the DSP world very late compared to the major audio brands, right? Yep. And I didn't want to have any kind of rookie mistakes happening in processing that is not really there. And people will raise their eyebrow. Kramer is a video company. They do awesome cables and they are all guns blazing with the control. What's about the audio thing now? Who is this audio guy speaking and screaming with these tattoos all over the place? So I want to avoid that obstacle and using, once, like I mentioned at the beginning, one of the strongest and heaviest player in the audio world as the core engine of processing behind it. To tell people, I'm not bringing you what I know. I'm bringing you what you need. It's a different approach. This is why this collaboration is out there. I'm not hiding it. I could have hid it under the hood. No. I know that people need excellent processing. These are the guys. I'm bringing you the best tools in the world to work with. That was the idea.
Well, and actually, it's interesting that number one, that it's good for you guys for getting the permission to use them, right? Because folks who know audio, especially in post production, they know that name, right? It is Waves is a brand name, at least in the post production world of audio, and especially with some of the new digital consoles. They're starting to get more and more into that as well. So that was kind of cool. We mentioned. Go ahead.
To mention that Waves. I'm a customer of Waves like for 15 years at least. Their HQ is in Tel Aviv. I'm close friend with most of the guys there, and this is not just a permission to use some of the products. They actually developed products for us specifically. We did this kind of really collaboration there. It's not just we are using some of the plugins and that's it. We built a bundle for us. The multi-rack version that they have, which is the brain behind the system, is designed especially to collaborate with that product that we have. We are controlling it. It's a much deeper kind of collaboration. It's not just us buying a plugin and kind of sending it forward.
Well, I apologize. I didn't mean it to sound like that way. I just for you to be able to use their name really in kind of your marketing and stuff, saying, hey, we use Waves. That's kind of what I meant with that. You mentioned again. InfoComm, you'll be there in Hall C 2919. One of the coolest parts about ISE for me personally, and I've known Yuval for a number of years now, is getting to hear Yuval play guitar. Not for nothing, but he doesn't suck. Let's put it that way. What sort of things are you going to be bringing to InfoComm this year, as far as not just all kidding aside, you are going to be playing guitar, but there's an actual product purpose behind it.
Right. So I kind of designed an elaborate kind of demo that we have about almost 30 different speakers playing there, 6 amplifiers, Dante boxes, new amplifiers, new Dante boxes. Obviously, the KN DSP 100 is going to be there. And we actually during the show, we're not only using our brandest, the newest DSP that we made, we are actually using our first one as well. We have, actually our first DSP is just an SP because it was designed before the digital era. It's the third product that my father ever designed.
Oh, wow.
It's called BS3, and it's a sound processor, not a digital one, all analog inside, from 1983. We have one box, it's still working, and I'm gonna run using that as well, gonna dump the signal into that, using my guitar with that little sound processor box that is still working there. So we are actually, we are in the business of audio as well for 35 years, 37 years almost, and we kind of working with that. So we have a bunch of new audio products running around there, and the new amplifiers that became our best-selling amplifiers in no time, basically. They're going to be rocking the place, a little bit loud, which is cool and awesome. And part of what I told in the beginning about having a very useful tool limited by the imagination of the designer of the system, this is basically what's going to happen there. We created a guitar being connected with a cable, going to kick in changes of screens, turning on lights, changing, creating playback running in the background, sending guitar through processing, just because I connected the cable, triggering the maestro on a device. It's kind of, you can do whatever you want with this. I'll disconnect the guitar, I'll get an email to my box. Thank you for a great show. It's whole thing there, just limited by what you can do with that. That's the main message there. Beyond the fact that it's gonna sound awesome, and it's 100% famous start to finish, from the cables to the DSP, speakers, amplifiers, down the whole thing is just us. Yeah, that's cool. What's gonna happen there.
I like the fact that that's the second or third time you've said the only limitation is what you can think. So, all right, Mr. Yuval, I appreciate your time. If anybody's interested in getting a hold of you or Kramer in between now and InfoComm, how would you suggest they do that?
I guess I have an email box somewhere.
You can go by the website. KramerAV.com is their email. Is their website, and I'm certain that Yuval has an email of some sort. So. Again, you can find them at Hall C 2919, C2919 at InfoComm 2018, which happens June 6th through the 8th. My name is Tom Albright. For more information about us, you can go by AVNation.tv, AVNation.tv. You'll find programs like this, as well as a host of others. We have 2 weekly programs, one that looks at the residential audiovisual industry and the one that looks at the pro AV, the news and information you need there on a weekly basis. All that and more at AVNation.tv, AVNation.tv.